Western Sydney has become the latest housing policy battleground as the major parties pledge millions to get more homes built. Cam Redden is live in the studio. There's a focus here on getting the infrastructure in place. Talk us through it.
Yeah, Kieran, and we can really see the campaign wheels beginning to spin today as well. We've had duelling housing events in Western Sydney, only about 15 minutes apart, the opposition leader and the housing minister in Western Sydney. You can see Peter Dutton was campaigning in Austral, which is a Labor-held seat of Werriwa, just about 15 minutes up the road. Claire O'Neill, the housing minister, in Bonnyrigg. It's a 1% seat held by the independent Di Fowler. Labor thinks they're in with a hunt at that seat in the next election. Both parties have committed new money to help investors and also councils clear infrastructure backlogs that surround housing developments. We're talking here about things like sewerage systems, power lines, energy connections, also water pipes as well. All the things that go around houses that councils have a key role in order to let projects of several hundred homes go ahead. The plan here is from Labor. They're pledging another $26 million to this particular housing development in Bonnyrigg, which is that suburb in the electorate of Fowler. Peter Dutton and the coalition over the weekend pledging $5 billion to help unlock 500,000 new homes in various electorates across the country. Both parties are more or less on the same page when it comes to putting money towards this issue, but no one can quite agree who came up with the idea first.
It's great that the Coalition have copied a bit of Labor's homework and said that they're also going to spend some money on infrastructure.
The government wasn't doing this before our policy announcement. There's a lot of talk and very little action. Now, if the government has been inspired by our announcement and they're now putting money into real projects, we would welcome that. But frankly, they've had 2.5 years to do it.
As we close in on the election proper in the next part of the best 6 to 9 months or so, we're going to start seeing a little bit more of the candidates popping up on the campaign trail. Lee was alongside Claire O'Neill today in the election of Fowler. That's Labor's campaign candidate there. We also got to see for the first real time Sam Cale, who is the Liberal candidate in the seat of Werriwa. It was the first real hit out for him at a press conference and, well, he didn't get off to the best start when he was doing his introductions, forgetting perhaps briefly the opposition leader's name.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. I would like to welcome our leader of the opposition, Peter Dutton, to Werriwa.
Yeah, maybe think it was 2014. The leader's not Tony. Of course, it's Peter Dutton. Kieran. We saw Stephen Miles forget a few names of candidates on the campaign trail in Queensland, but he surely would want to remember the name of the opposition leader behind you. But nevertheless, he got there in the end.
It's maybe a compliment, you know, if you're in Liberal circles. It's probably
in some parts in Western Sydney,
Tony
perhaps,
won from opposition. That's what Peter's trying to do. So, yeah, I think that might be a good rap from Sam. Maybe he gets a compliment from the
Blessing
boss.
in disguise, perhaps.
Indeed. Let's look to the AEMO comments. Explain it for our viewers, because it's quite a bombshell, this statement from Daniel Westerman today.
Yeah, and it's quite a blunt concession too, Kieran. Why this matters is the head of AEMO, which is the energy market operator, Daniel Westerman's appeared in a Senate hearing today, and he was asked directly whether the renewables push for 82% by 2030 would bring power prices down and whether he could guarantee that prices would be lower then than they are today under that plan. Keeping in mind that the energy market operator, which he runs, is responsible for developing the integrated systems plan. That's the technical term for the roadmap, the infrastructure plan of getting to 82% renewables by 2030. He was asked point blank in the last hour or so whether prices would come down, whether he could give that guarantee under Labor's plan, and the answer in simple terms was no. This is the exchange a short time ago.
But you're saying you cannot guarantee that the current government policy settings which you model will deliver lower power prices?
I can't guarantee that, no. And what I would say is we try to be quite clear about the communication of our message, which is that the integrated system plan, which considers these things, generation storage and major transmission upgrades, is the lowest cost pathway. It doesn't refer to whether it's cheaper or more expensive for that wholesale component, and it explicitly doesn't consider other parts of the consumer energy bill.
So that's the big challenge, Kieran. We know that AEMO has said for several months that the renewables that we already have in the system have been underperforming, that they haven't put out as much energy into the system as they had hoped. So there's been more reliance on gas and coal. So a pretty clear warning there from AEMO that he cannot guarantee prices will come down. Surely the hope is that they will. But at this stage, on the current rollout, he can't lock that in for sure.
Cameron, thank you.